Hi, I'm Caitlin, and again, this is the part 2. I want to show you how to do a cornrow or a boxer braid. This is something that's really versatile. You can pull it apart, keep it clean, play around with different partings, kind of over direction. So I want to start with something just really simple and really basic, which is the traditional boxer braid. So to have a clean braid, you have to start with clean parting. So I went ahead and parted Carly's hair today into kind of triangular shapes going back. What I want to create are these two really cool braids going down, kind of flowing into her wavy hair that I put in previously. I did prep her hair before we started with the Amika Invisible Oil. This is really good. It's going to help me just working with the sections and also reduce any flyaways and frizz. Okay. So if you know how to do a regular braid, that's the best way to start. Okay, so can I have you tilt your head back? So we're going to start right up here at the top of the section, and I'm going to grab just a small piece, about this big, and I'm going to split this into 3. So I find it easier to work overhand versus the traditional underhand when you're doing a regular plait or braid. Okay, so breaking it into 3 different sections, just like this. And I'm kind of getting my hair ready. So I always want to have one hand holding the hair and securing it, and have the other one free to kind of make sure everything's nice and smooth, grab this section, use a comb, do whatever you need to do. Okay, so I'm going to do just 2 rounds of a regular braid. Okay, now you can see, tilt your head back just a little bit. I have a pincher finger, I have some hair over the finger here, and the other one's kind of kept inside. The pincher finger is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a comb here to grab the hair and actually place it into those little pinchers. Then I'm going to grab the hair that's on top, which is right over here, and switch. So now that section that we just grabbed from is now the section on top of the finger. So again, taking a tiny section, putting it into little pinchers, and switching. So you're just basically keeping this pattern going. And braiding, go slow, don't worry. It's not gonna look perfect the first time that you do this. Okay, the pinchers, and grabbing and pulling, and now it's starting to take shape of what the braid is gonna look like. Okay. So again, keeping it nice and clean sectionings. You also wanna keep tension on the hair. So you can see there's a lot of tension right now, and it's just holding with one hand, so this hand is free to work. Okay, and pulling in this direction, and kind of continuing down this way. Now, I'm going to keep this kind of symmetrical because I want her braid to kind of fall back and down. But if you wanted this to fall closer to the part line, you would shift your body position so you're working directly over where you want the braid to fall. So I think that's another important thing, is that keeping your hand position right over where the braid is going to keep that nice straight, clean braid. So I don't want to over direct hair from down here up until this braid. I want to keep everything right in line. Okay. And it shouldn't hurt either. I'm not pulling so hard that it should be hurting her. I'm just pulling enough to create that nice braid. And at the end of this, I probably would want to pull this apart and make it look a little bit fuller, just because she has a finer texture of hair, but that's up to you. Okay, and again, the pincher finger. So you see everything's nice and clean. I'm grabbing the section. You can see my sections are also starting to get a little bit bigger as my braid gets bigger, so you want to keep that consistent. So I don't know if you can kind of see the sections. It's smaller, getting bigger, 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 bigger as the braid gets bigger. Put your head forward. So I'm following through to the sections we see over here. Okay. And just continuing this braid down. I'm going to kind of speed this one up just a little bit. And again, speed comes with practice and with time. And you can see how that invisible oil is keeping all those little flyaways down and really helping me keep this style where I want it to be. sorry about that. We're trying to get this done before we start work this morning and someone just walked in. So we're gonna go ahead and continue. All right, so at this point, the braid, I don't have any hair left to grab onto, so I'm gonna switch to an underhand position and still keeping the hair nice and tight. We're gonna continue the braid formation going down. And again, you could stop here and kind of continue the braid together. 2 rounds of a regular braid. Now I have my pincher ready, and whatever side that your pinchers are going towards, that's the side that you want to grab hair from. So if you ever have to stop and get lost kind of talking, just remember the direction that your pinchers are going, that's the way that your hair needs to be grabbed from. Okay, so again, I'm working a little bit faster now. And again, you'll get the hang of this as you go along. It is important to have these nice clean sections. It's going to make your life a lot easier when you're trying to go through, especially if you're doing this, incorporating it in with an updo or a style, or if you're using the braid as a base. There's a lot of different ways that you can do a braid. This is just kind of the basic one that's good to get started with. Okay, so grabbing the hair, keeping it smooth, and also keeping this tension. You can see I'm keeping a consistent tension within her hair so that the braid doesn't get any weird little loops or bubbles within the braid. So starting to grab larger sections because we're grabbing more hair. Okay. And at the end, like I said, I probably will end up pulling this apart because Carly likes to see a little bit more texture. So you can do that with pancaking, pinching, kind of whatever you feel more comfortable with. Just don't rush it. You took your time braiding, take your time also making it larger and bigger. Okay, so pinch your finger, grabbing that hair and moving down. Okay. And put your head down slightly. And just remember that your client or your model is, her head moves, so move her head. So don't feel like you have to go in an awkward position. You should feel comfortable, especially if you want to do this for a number of years. And you can see I just switched to the underhand position. Still keeping it nice and tight. My fingers are close to wherever I'm braiding. So I'm not braiding down here because I want to have that nice clean section and clean parting. So I'm not going to secure this with an elastic, but first I just want to show you her braids in through here and on that side. And go straight again. So if she wanted to wear this style kind of tight, which is a fun look, we kind of pull the hair down. So there's a couple of different ways that you can kind of style this. It was just Valentine's Day, you could create a heart, you can kind of loop these together, you can create like a bun or a little flower. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can then do once you have this down. So I'm gonna break it apart, kind of starting to pull this way. I like to start on one side, holding with medium amount of grip over here, starting to pull it apart. You see she has layers, that's okay. I like to see that texture. I want it to look a little bit more undone than I have done before. Okay, kind of keeping it secure with that, a little hairspray, and I'm going to start moving up the hair. So I use the clip just to hold it just slightly. Right, now if you've noticed, but Carly and I pretty much have the same hair color. I guess we both just love pink, or it's that time of year. Okay, so again, pulling it, I don't want to create frizz. I just want to create a little bit more of a lived-in look. So you can kind of see the difference. I'm not pulling it apart too much. First, this one pulled apart and this one is not pulled apart. So you can do the same thing on this side. And then, create like some sort of cool pattern in through here. Even pull some of this hair over top of it. This is where you can truly get creative and work with what we just did. So with this style, we'll probably just combine them together, kind of midway in through here, so it creates just that kind of cool shape, which I really like. So we'll do that. Okay, just with an elastic. And remove the elastic from below. And if you want to pull apart the other braid, just so they're symmetrical, go. Just kind of pop it out. And you can see because of the product that we prepped her hair with, it's really keeping all that frizz down. Okay. And another round with the touchable hairspray from Amika. And just smoothing any little flyaways down. All right, so I'm just gonna show you a little 360 view here. So you can see from the side. Spin you around. And from the front, you can barely tell that she has braids, which is kind of fun too. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned, and I can't wait to share more with you.